The first episode was all about the decision, but this one is all about what happens after. I've decided to leave America, and suddenly every part of my life became a process. Between selling the dance studio that I've owned for the last 16 years and sorting through everything I own, deciding what to keep, what to take, figuring out how to move 2 giant golden doodles across the Atlantic Ocean without missing one single requirement needed for their entrance, signing up for the NHS, setting up bank accounts in a country where I don't even live, trying to find a flat in London that will not only accept my dogs, but won't completely wreck my budget as well. And here's what I'm learning. It's harder than I thought. There are so many unexpected steps that nobody ever mentions when you talk about moving countries. In this episode, I'm breaking down what really happens after you make the decision. The logistics, the emotions, and the unexpected American thing that I found myself doing while I was researching the NHS. So let's get into it. When I posted that first episode, I honestly thought it would just reach a small circle of people. A few of my friends, maybe some of my students, even some people that maybe were curious about what it's like to uproot your life and move to another country. But instead, I ended up with a comment section that was full of people from all over the place. Folks that were already living in the UK, people who uprooted their lives and moved abroad to many different countries, and other people that are just really considering the same decision that I just made. A lot of them offered advice and encouragement, and that was really surprising to me. I didn't expect that level of engagement, and I certainly didn't expect that level of support, or that number of people to actually comment in the first place, willing to share their experiences and just say, here, something maybe you want to keep an eye out for, or here's a point of view maybe you hadn't looked at. A lot of people were just simply welcoming me to England, excited for my journey, letting me know that everything was going to be okay and that I was going to expect to have a better life over there than I imagined. But because it's the internet, there were a couple of moments where the political realities made themselves known as well. I had people going back and forth about right versus left in England, and honestly, it reminded me a little bit of America. But for the most part, the tone was welcoming. People were hospitable, they were helpful. It made me realize that even though this journey feels huge and feels personal as well, there's a whole community of people out there who've done it, are doing it currently, or at least thinking about it, maybe compiling all their information like I did before I made the decision for myself. But that kind of connection right at the beginning of this journey for me is incredibly encouraging. Selling my studio, it was one of the hardest decisions that I ever made. But not because I regret that I'm going to be leaving, because of how deeply connected I am to what I built there. I've watched people push past challenges, discover new confidence within themselves, and fall in love with dance in a lot of ways that honestly still amaze me today. Darren's Ballroom is going to continue beyond me, and that makes all the difference. This isn't shutting the lights off and walking away. Deciding to sell felt like stepping outside of a version of myself. The instructor, the owner, that's an emotional attachment that does not appear on paperwork or in a contract. I like to think that everything I created isn't ending, but it's becoming the foundation for whatever dreams come next. And yeah, it's hard to walk away. It's definitely emotional. Once I understood somebody new was going to be carrying the torch of the studio, then I had to turn my attention to something that was a lot less philosophical and a lot more tangible and physical. And that's my stuff. And when I say stuff, I don't mean a few boxes in a closet. I mean a life's worth of possessions, furniture, artwork, kitchen things, electronics, everything that quietly piles up over decades without you even noticing that it is piling up. Suddenly I was faced with the question, do I really want to take all this stuff to England with me? Moving country forces you to see your possessions differently. It makes every item a little less sentimental and more like a decision, a concrete logistical choice. Do I ship it? Do I sell it or donate it? Do I just let go and start fresh? After researching options, here's what I landed on. I'm renting a 10-foot by 5-foot by 6-foot shipping container, and everything I'm taking is going to be squeezed into that little space. It's turned out to be one of the less expensive options, but less expensive is definitely relative. I'm going to end up looking around somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000 to ship that much stuff. And here's the kicker. It could take up to 12 weeks for my belongings to even arrive. So I'm going to get there, start a new life, start making arrangements with everything that I had in my suitcases. That's pretty scary, but pretty exciting as well. The container forced me to think in real dimensions. So I have 10 feet by 5 feet by 6 feet of space to carry my past into my future. That's it. And once I got real about that, the process changed. I started asking, does this item even earn its place in the container? Emotional value still matters, but now it has to physically fit too, and has to be important enough to make the cut. The cost of shipping and the length of time before it arrives, it made me pause and really consider what was worth bringing in the first place. There's something really clarifying about that. I've looked at estate sale companies, consignment options, posting things online, or having one big yard sale. Each option definitely has pros and cons, but I didn't expect the emotional weight that came with making those decisions. What stays, what goes. Over time, objects became kind of a timeline. You pick something up and suddenly you remember when you bought it, or why you kept it in the first place, or who gave it to you. You can even touch something that you own and be completely transported back in time to the moment that you received it, and remembering all of the emotions that came with it. Part of this move is learning to release things that I thought that I needed, and that's not easy. It's strange how a couch or a bowl or a piece of artwork can hold so much memory for a person. It forced me to ask myself, do I need this for where I'm going? Or is this just tied to where I've been? I want to drag my entire past into a new future. I want to choose what comes forward with intention. Maybe that means shipping a few meaningful items, things with real personal value. Maybe that means selling or donating the rest. And honestly, the idea of starting over with less and arriving with space that I can grow in, that's really exciting to me. My dog is currently trying to play ball with me. This part is still ongoing. I'm still sorting and deciding and arguing with myself over whether or not something is earning a place in that container. I'm learning to see it as an opportunity, a chance to choose what I carry forward, a chance to lighten the load. It allows me to be intentional about the new life that I'm building. And of course, not everything is coming with me. And that's where the next big decision comes in. What do I do with all the stuff I'm leaving behind? I've looked into estate sale companies where they basically come into your home, they stage the items, they price everything, and then they run the event, and then they take a percentage. It's organized and it's fast and it's definitely hands-off, but you're going to give up a big chunk of the profits when you use that service. The other option is going more DIY, listing things on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. And that can take more time and energy, but you have the control. You get to decide how much things are going to cost. You even decide who it's sold to. I'd actually love to hear from some of you watching. Have you used estate sale services before? Did you like it? Was it worth the percentage that they had to take? Was it an easy process? Or have you gone through Facebook Marketplace? And if so, what kind of experience did you have there? I've run into a lot of people that are no-shows or scam artists. What's your experience been? Drop it down in the comments below because I'm trying to figure out the smartest way to do this while also keeping my sanity. And while you're down there, make sure to hit subscribe, follow, and click that bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. Your support and your comments are really motivating me to keep going. So now let's talk about something that matters way more to me than furniture or shipping containers, and that's my boys. Oliver and Charlee are coming with me to England. There was really never a question whether or not they were going to be coming with me. Dealing with the noise and the pressure changes and being around all those strangers, I really needed another way. We could do the Queen Mary, but they'd still be locked in a kennel for the entire trip. Oliver is my special needs boy. He's very sweet, but he's very anxious. Noise or chaos or unfamiliar environments, even an Amazon box, that is a lot for him. And Charlie's adorable, but he can get a little rambunctious if he finds something he's curious about or he's overstimulated. But here's what I wasn't prepared for. Moving humans abroad is one process, but moving 2 large dogs across the Atlantic Ocean is a completely different operation and a lot more complicated. Microchips, rabies vaccines, travel health certificates, there's a whole system behind it. A lot of people keep asking me about quarantining, but we're not going to have to quarantine the dogs as long as we get all the paperwork done. And honestly, the more research that I did, the more stressed I got thinking about them being in a crate or around crowds. I could never put them in cargo on a plane. So I made the decision to go a completely different route with them that was way easier. I'm gonna fly them semi-private with a company called Canine Jets. Take a look.
How you can fly with your dog in cabin to the UK. We flew with the world's first pet-friendly airline, Canine Jet, and your pets are welcomed with a goodie bag of essentials for the flight. Before boarding, all the pups meet so that they can ensure that they get on well and all the pups are happy. The airport process is so easy. Since you fly out of a private terminal, your passports are checked and you walk straight onto the plane. Something I love about this flight is it's an overnight flight, so when your dog is naturally sleeping, it makes it perfect for first-time flyers. Important to note that all the dogs have assigned seating, so there's no crossover between the dogs, meaning if you have a reactive dog, it's still safe. You land in the UK, your dog's microchip and paperwork is checked, and you're met by your driver outside the plane. You are off on your exciting new adventure.
It's basically a small private jet that sells very limited number of seats, 10 to be exact, and it's specifically for people traveling with their dogs so that they can travel with them in cabin. And when I say that this place is catered for the dogs, I mean it is catered to the dogs. They've got dog beds, they've got water bowls, they've got snacks, they've got toys. Everything is designed to keep the entire experience calm and comfortable and to keep your dogs as stress-free as possible, which keeps all of us stress-free as well. The best part is that we never step foot in an airport. We're driven to a private airstrip where we're gonna walk straight onto the plane. When we land in London, it's the same thing. It'll be on a private airfield. Customs officers will come onto the plane to check our documents. And then we walk off the plane directly into our car and we'll be headed to our new home. It's honestly the lowest stress option for my dogs, and probably the lowest stress option for me too because of that. Now, it's not a cheap route though. Tickets are about $10,000 a seat, and that includes 1 person and 1 dog over 50 pounds. If your dog is under 50 pounds, you could take 2. So I have 2 dogs over 50 pounds, so that means I needed 2 seats. And then there are additional fees for all of the dog vaccinations and all the government paperwork that needs to be filed to take the pets into the UK. And listen, I'm not gonna complain about arriving in London in the most bougie and pampered way possible. Who's gonna complain about that? I'm gonna do a future episode on Canine Jet and my experience on the plane, so watch out for that. I'll take you guys with me through the entire trip. By traveling this way, we all land together, we start our new life together, and the first thing that my dogs are gonna experience in England won't be a cargo warehouse. It'll be a quiet runway, a fresh breeze, and a car that takes them directly to their new home. Now, speaking of paperwork, it's not just the dogs who've got a checklist. Let's talk about how I'm preparing to navigate a completely new and foreign healthcare system to myself, and how it feels to leave the American healthcare system behind. Spoiler alert, that feels pretty good. In the US, healthcare is connected to everything. Insurance, networks, premiums, deductibles, co-pays. It's a maze that we just all accept it as normal. I honestly think the abuse of the American healthcare system has just been going on for so long that people are just trained to accept it as okay. It is not. So one of the biggest mental shifts in moving to England, the idea that healthcare isn't tied to employment. It's not an insurance product, it's a public service. The National Health Service, or NHS, is built around one simple idea. When you get sick, you should be able to go see a doctor. It's that simple. That's it. No big negotiations, no shopping for plans. There are no tiers, no choosing whether you're in network or you're out of network. Oh, and prescriptions, England has a flat fee. Right now, it's just under £10. No matter what medication you're getting, that alone is gonna feel like I'm walking into a completely different world. But there's a deeper reason that this matters to me beyond just convenience. I started thinking about my mom, and she's getting up there in age, and I've seen what happens in America when somebody falls and breaks a hip and needs in-home health care, or they require a rehab at a facility. It can absolutely bankrupt a family in America. I don't mean that it's expensive. I mean you can lose everything just trying to provide basic care for somebody that you love. In England, if something like that is needed, it's covered. It's provided without an argument, without a debate, and without having to fight an insurance company before help arrives. That peace of mind, knowing that I can take care of my mom if something happens, and not lose everything in the process. That was one of the reasons for me making the decision for this move in the first place. It's the difference between constant stress and being able to breathe. When I first started reading about the NHS, I caught myself doing something that was very American. I was looking for the complications, red tape, and the fine print. We're actually, I think, trained when it comes to healthcare, at least, to look for and expect hidden charges and surprise bills. Moving to a system where the expectation is actually the care you're given. I know there are pros and cons of every healthcare system. No country gets it perfect. There is definitely something comforting about knowing that if I wake up one morning and I have a health issue in England, then my first thought is not going to be how much is that going to cost or can I afford it. I've seen people refuse ambulance care just because they know that the bill will be coming. And that is crazy. Getting rid of that feeling will be huge. It'll definitely be a big change in my life. And if I'm being honest, I'm really looking forward to the day that I don't have to worry or think twice about healthcare. Now, all of these things, shipping containers, dog flights, healthcare insurance, these are all logistics. But there's another level of this move that I wasn't prepared for. And it's not something you can put in a box or file it away as paperwork. It's the emotional journey. Nobody tells you that when you decide to move to another country, you're not just uprooting your life and relocating. You're redefining who you are. For 16 years, I've been the studio owner or the instructor. I've been Darren's Ballroom, teaching, competing, and coaching students. That's been my identity. It's my routine. It's my rhythm. And now I'm gonna step into something completely unknown. Not bad, just different. But it brings a question of who am I without that familiar context of my life? I think we all ask ourselves that. I won't have the same daily schedule. I won't have the same people walking through my door every afternoon. I won't have the familiarity of knowing exactly how every moment of my day is going to play out. There's a kind of excitement with that, but there's also a bit of grief. It's like closing a book that you've been writing for years and you finally reach a blank page with your pen in your hand and you have no idea what to write because you have no idea what's coming. One thing I've noticed is how often I'm now catching myself thinking in future tense, saying things like, when I live in England or when I'm in London, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to bike across England or take my dogs through the parks. People always talk about leaving, but they don't talk as much about the space in between who you've been and who you're becoming. There are days I feel totally ready to go. I picture myself biking down a street in London, grabbing coffee or taking the dogs through the park, exploring history and art in new neighborhoods. And then there are days where I pause and I think, am I really gonna do this? I'm really going through with it. Leaving the known for the unknown is never simple, but I think part of becoming the next version of myself, it involves exactly that. Stepping out of the patterns that have kept me comfortable for so long, and finally stepping into what's just a possibility, something I haven't discovered yet. So yeah, I'm gonna miss what I'm leaving behind. The best chapters in life don't come from staying where you're safe. They come from stepping forward, even when you don't have all of the answers. That's the emotional journey. That's the part of the move that I think is gonna change me the most. Not where I live, but who I get to become. Which brings me to the end of this episode, and honestly, the beginning of something new. Moving to another country isn't just paperwork and shipping containers and healthcare systems, although all of that matters. It's also about choosing to step forward into a life you believe is waiting for you. Listen, I'm new to YouTube, and what's been surprising and honestly pretty amazing is how you guys have already stepped up to help me grow this channel. One thing I'll never take for granted is support. I've never done that in my career, and I know that I owe so many things to so many people. All the support that I've gotten along the way. Your comments and your encouragement, your stories and your advice means more than you probably realize. And it's such a reminder that I'm not doing this alone. So if you've moved abroad and you've gone through this kind of overseas transition, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. And if you're just watching because you're curious or you're thinking about making a big change in your life, then welcome. You're a part of this journey too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you get notified when new episodes drop. I'm going to be sharing every part of this move. The challenging parts, the surprises, the emotional moments, all of the logistics and the things that I learn along the way. There's a lot coming. I'm so excited to start biking and going on overnight bike rides through England and Europe, and I can't wait to take you guys with me. I have so many things that I'm going to experience for the first time, and I really want you guys there to see it with me. And I genuinely appreciate every view from my video, every comment, and every person who joins in on the conversation. So until next time, keep showing up, keep moving, and keep sipping from the good stuff.